welcome back to Better Than Yesterday. My name is Michael Jans van Rensburg, and as always, I'm joined by a very good friend of mine, Daniel Hammond, and we are both here to talk to you guys today about our gym journey and what we've learned from the last 1 year of taking the gym seriously and working out, all these kind of things. We're going to be talking about our schedules, just all the things that we've learned from, really taking it from it being something that didn't play a big role in our lives to the last year, something that has really been a focus in our lives. And we've learned so much from that. So we want to share that with you guys today. And it's going to be part 3 of our journey. So we're keen to get into that. But Daniel, how have you been, my brother?
I've been doing well, thanks, Michael. Been really busy with a lot of different things in my life, school, Mr. and Miss United, and yeah, I must say
And
at this point of time, I
I
wish
must
I
say
could
to
have.
our viewers, I must say to our
Yeah,
viewers that we are joined by Mr. United Namibia right here. He won the pageant, you know what I'm saying? So this is the man that
away,
you're listening
away.
to right now. Mr. United
Awesome, man.
Namibia.
Thanks, bro. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Come on.
Yeah, so as I was saying, like at this point of time, I just want a bit of a break, and next week I
I
am
get
gonna
you.
have one. But yeah, it's good to be back on have another video together as well, just as a group, and yeah, just to share about our journey of taking the gym more seriously, getting a look into our diets and doing the bulking and cutting uh
Yep.
like parts of gymming. So yeah, man, it's really good to be back, and I'm liking the mustache.
Thank you, brother, man. Yeah, going for that Chris Evans look, you could say. But
Yeah,
yeah, no, let's get into it, man. So, like you say, I remember the first video that we made ever on this channel about gymming was in March this year, and we were speaking about how we were about to start our process of bulking. So that was actually 6 months ago. So both you and I have pretty much been in a bulking phase for the last 6 months. We said that was something that we set out to
yeah,
do, which is basically just working out and exercising, lifting weights on a calorie surplus. So we were aiming to consume more calories than we were actually burning. So we were focusing on building muscle, and I've really enjoyed that process, bro. To be honest, it's been 6 months of bulking, and I've got to start cutting now as of September.
yeah,
And I don't feel like it, man. I'm enjoying this bulk too much, but no, it is good. I think I'm definitely going to get into the cut going now into summer. It'll be nice to get some definition on the muscles. But what's great is I've already seen like the progress from the bulking that I've done. I've just put on a lot of size in my upper body, my
yeah,
arms, my chest, and my back as well, and even my legs. I think before this year, that's one thing I can really say in terms of my progress is that before, and we're going to be throwing on the screen some pictures of where Daniel and I are currently at the moment in terms of our gym journey. It's difficult for me to compete with a male model like Daniel, but I try. And yeah, no, for sure. So apart from that, yeah, one thing that's been really cool to see is like I never used to work out my legs at all. I did when I
mhm,
remember in high school I used to do some upper body workouts, but this year I started to do legs as well. And oh, it's such a satisfying feeling to like flex your leg and you see that muscle definition there. So I think the most satisfying thing about this process of bulking for the last 6 months is that I remember we said it in the first month. I think we made a video 1 month directly after our first video, and we were talking about our progress so far, and that we had seen some progress, but there really wasn't much to see from 1 month of putting in the hard work. But it's been 6 months now, and that's
definitely.
when now you can see there's a big difference from where we started off and where we are now. So
Yeah,
I think that's one important thing that the gym teaches you is how to delay your gratification and learn to love you got to learn to love the journey because the journey takes a while. You only get to your destination of really looking how you want to in a while, and neither of us are where we want to be yet, but we're on that journey, and we've been taking it seriously for the last year or so. But what does taking the gym more seriously look
yeah.
like for you, bro, on a daily basis?
Yeah, so it takes a lot of discipline, and you have to really put yourself out there. So it means that even on the days when you don't feel like gymming, don't feel like
Yeah,
working out, you just have to go and take the weights and start lifting, and it becomes easier once you finish your first exercise, then you start getting into the rhythm and you really start enjoying it.
yeah,
So it taking the gym seriously has helped me to not only strengthen my like discipline when it comes to gymming, but overall in life it helps because it's basically you doing the difficult stuff and then it just getting easier. The same as with reading a book. Sometimes it gets difficult and you might not want to read it then, but you read it because you know it is beneficial for your life. And that is the same with schoolwork. You have to study for that test whether you like it or not, and it just makes that process easier. So yeah, taking the gym seriously this year. I know I started off in Rehoboth when before university started. I was at a gym and all the weights and equipment was there, so it was
Nice,
it
man.
was quite easy. But then coming to Windhoek, I couldn't join a gym because it's quite expensive, and you're trying to live off a student budget here. So I had to adapt to my surroundings, and I started gymming with a couple of my resident friends here where I stay in Windhoek. And yeah, we just had a couple of weights to and like this outside we had like this slab, and
Mm.
we improvised. We did some biceps with the weight. We did some lunges. There's a lot of different things you can do with
Yeah,
uh, um, a single pair of dumbbells. We
sure.
then also did a lot of body weight training, push-ups. But to be honest, I've seen growth in doing that, and so a lot of times we want to say no, but I can't go to a gym now, or I can't
Mm.
I can't go to this building. But you can start doing stuff at your house with a group of people and use
Amen.
what you have to your advantage.
Sure.
So yeah, it's taught me a lot of how to like just take what you have and make use of it to grow in whichever way you want to.
Amen, bro. That's really cool, man. That's cool that you adapted. And I think like you say, actually, that's probably the biggest issue. When I speak to most of my friends, for example, um, they all I think and I noticed this just with young people. For example, everyone wants to hit the gym because I think we all want to be the best. Ideally, we want to be the best version of ourselves. We want to. It's nice to have that
Yeah,
movie star body and get in shape and everything. But like you say, I think the difference between someone who ends up doing it and those who just talk about it is some people just make excuses the whole time of why they can't do it. Like you say, oh, I don't have a membership, so I'm just not going to do it. But then the difference is when you look at yourself, for example, is that you actually made a plan and you just decided, cool, even though I don't have a membership, I'm going to start working out from home. And it's super good, bro. I think that's the difference between someone who is just going to make excuses to do something, and you've got to make the excuse to, instead of not to doing it, you should come up with reasons in your mind why you should be doing that kind of stuff.
yeah,
So yeah, man, I would definitely agree with
that's
that.
really true.
Yeah, yeah. I think what I would definitely recommend from this video is that you should take away is just like start implementing some type of workout into your week, and it has to be on a consistent basis. So what does a consistent basis mean? I think Daniel put it very well there. So I would say a minimum of 3 times a week to be like specific. You got to be working out about 3 times a week to call it consistent and to for it to really be a discipline of yours. But I think what consistency really means, like you say there, is that you're doing it when you don't feel like it. So it's easy to
Yeah,
do something when you feel like it. Yeah, cool. Then because you are going to do feel like it every now and then. But the difference, between someone who's successful in that kind of thing and really starts to see results is when you do it when you don't feel like it. And there's actually a beauty to doing it. Like you say, you actually learn a lot about. Once you're able to get that discipline in the way that you treat gym, you can also have that discipline in the way that you treat other things in your life. Like you say, maybe your schoolwork, maybe your job, all these kind of things, man.
yeah,
So,
and
um, yeah,
yeah, what I wanted to say is like what how it really helps you as well is it just helps you to be more proud of yourself because you've got something done
yeah,
and you've seen that progress. And yeah, it just gives the satisfaction of being productive like during the day,
sure.
at least going to the gym, doing something, and not
I
just
agree, man.
not doing anything. Yeah, so what I wanted to
Yeah.
ask you is how has it felt gaining weight and just like getting a bigger frame? Because I know as men
Hmm.
having a bigger frame, it goes hand in hand with gaining respect as well, because you
Yep.
just look more like you've got a bigger frame, so you look larger and you've just got more respect. Like that, just it just comes with having a bigger size.
That's so true, man. That's so true. And interesting question. So yeah, I think um it's helped a lot in terms of having this bigger frame. So I have focused a lot on my upper body. So I focused a lot on like chest and arms and shoulders, and that has allowed me to get
Yeah.
a big frame. Um, Definitely bigger than I was. I remember when I came into this year, I was quite skinny in the fact that there wasn't much muscle or size to me. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
If I was to flex, it was just like very average, very average level basically. But now I've put on like
Yes.
some size. So yeah, I think the biggest difference for me as well has been just the way that my clothes fit me, for example.
Mhm.
So like clothes that I was wearing at the beginning of the year that would look loose, like the sleeves would be like loose around my arm, and it would just be it would just not look like that good. It looks kind of baggy on you. I wear the same t-shirt now, and like I fill it out
Yeah.
nicely, like my chest is popping, like my arms fill out the sleeves. It's just because of the work that I've put in, and
Yeah.
it's crazy how it allows you to just look better, like you say, in your own clothes. I think that's a big benefit of hitting the gym and having that bigger frame. And like you say, I think you do earn the respect of people, because you only get these kind of results of putting on that size by putting in the work. It's taken 6 months for me to of bulking, of like working out more than 3 times a week, and eating like quite a lot. Sometimes I even when I don't feel like eating, I've just been eating to put on that extra size and muscle, and
Yeah.
it's paid off. And I think I would say I've mostly seen the respect from other men in my community. Just they
Mhm.
they notice, and they'll be like, man, you like, I can see you've been putting in the work. I think
Yes.
men sort of like acknowledge that kind of thing in each other, and they'll give you the props for that, because they know like that it takes a while to get to that point. And
Yeah.
I think so. That's a big thing. I mean, you want to have the respect of your peers, and it just helps you,
Mhm.
like you say, to feel proud of yourself. I think one of the biggest things for me, bro, is sometimes I'll be feeling, like I can rest easy at night, if I know that I've hit the gym that day. But if I haven't, then I'll
Definitely.
feel like, oh, I haven't been very productive today. I'll go to bed and I'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, today was a bit of a, like, I should have done more with myself. You know what I mean? I should have like
I
done
know
something.
that.
But if I've at least hit the gym during the day, then I'll be like, I've done something. I've done like something towards pushing myself further.
Yeah.
And me and you, and everyone on this channel, we always talk about daily growth. I mean, we call it better than yesterday. So I feel like
Mhm.
that's such a simple but like super important thing that you can do to make yourself better than you were yesterday. Is lifting heavy weights, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's what's an easy way to make yourself better than you were yesterday. So yeah, I think that's what I've noticed, is definitely there more respect from my peers, just fellow men in my community that have noticed that hard work and have pointed it out and congratulated me. And yeah, I think just the fact that it helps you to look better in your clothes. I think having size as a man is a good thing. So I would recommend
Yeah.
for any young man that is watching this video, I would recommend maybe doing a bulk, and unless you are in a situation where you feel like you need to lose weight first. But I think a lot
Yes.
of young men, I think it can definitely help to put on a bulk, like you say. It just gives you that bigger frame, and yeah, you'll win the respect of men, but also you win the attraction of the opposite sex, which is also a good thing. So I think hitting the gym, not that we just do it for other people. I think you're also doing it for yourself, but that is
Yes.
a what's the word? It's like a byproduct that is helpful. You know what I mean? Like, it's not.
Yeah.
We should acknowledge the fact that it is nice to have the respect of your peers, and it is nice to be attractive to the opposite sex. You know what I mean? So these are benefits that you should really take into mind, of hitting the
Yeah.
gym. And yeah, I think it's something you got to take seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, like put in
And
that
not
work,
only
and it's
respect for your peers,
yeah,
it's also respect just for yourself. And it's just the
yeah,
way that you can carry yourself knowing that you are you're doing well. And as important, Jim, is taking like the weight, I know that we also have to focus on the diet, and that's also something that I've really been able to like focus on this year and just give more
mm,
attention. So what I did was I asked a friend of mine, Raphael, to give me a diet for my blood type, and there was different foods that he noted that's very beneficial for me to eat according to my blood type, and then there's foods that aren't beneficial, and one of those foods were bread, which isn't beneficial. And
mm,
I know last week it was my preparation for the catwalk, like walking on the stage, posing in front of everyone, and I had a bit of a stomach. So what I realized is that I want to get rid of this now just for the show to look well. And I started like that whole week I didn't eat any bread. I started eating wraps and a lot less carbs, not a lot of rice, not a lot of spaghetti, and yeah, I just focused on vegetables and proteins, and this really helped because it like I still looked big, but my stomach fat just went away. So it's really
Wow,
important that you take your diet just as seriously as you
sure.
take the gymming.
It's a good
And
point, bro.
how have you experienced that? Because I know you've also worked on your diet, Michael.
No, that's really cool to hear, bro. I've always been interested in terms of like how those models, are able to like look lean. Um, and I think that's an interesting point, man. I think what I've done in terms of diets the last 6 months has been a bulk for me. So I've actually been purposefully eating like more things like bread and that kind of stuff. I think what I've implemented into my diet a lot more is just having like a piece of protein, and then I always
Mm-hmm.
had like these big bags of rice, just brown rice that I would have at night. Um, and yeah, so I was actually going quite a lot more for the carbohydrates. I think when you're bulking, it's
Yes.
important to include carbohydrates into your diet, and also just different proteins. One thing I've done
Mm-hmm.
as well is I've changed the way that I snack. So I think this is also a big thing in terms of diet. Is just obviously everyone eats 3 meals a day, or that's how most diet plans work. But then there's also those times where you're snacking in between. And I'd say building like before this year, I used to just snack by having like a packet of chips, having um, like a chocolate that was, or like a biscuit or whatever. Like we just have these things that are around the house,
Yeah.
and that's how I'd snack. That's how I'd get through. I'm feeling a little bit hungry. That's what I'm going to go and grab. But the difference that I've done this year is this year, like I don't do that at all. Like if I feel like a chocolate, I just say no. Like I turn that down. When I feel like snacking, I'll grab like a piece of fruit. We have like either bananas or like oranges, usually around the house. So that's usually the fruits that I go for. And I'll also maybe just sometimes have like a spoon of peanut butter or something like that, like something that's protein
Oh,
filled and
nice.
something that's, yeah, like something that sticks to what I'm trying to do. Because if you go and have a chocolate, then that doesn't fit in with what I'm trying to do. Whereas if I were to go
Yes.
and have a spoon of peanut butter, that's like more extra protein. It helps with the bulking, so it doesn't feel like I'm doing a bad thing. So I think changing the way you snack is important. Like go towards healthier snacks, even nuts and stuff like that is way better. And what's helped is that my parents as well were doing a diet for a large portion of this year,
Okay.
so that sort of helped in that there wasn't as much like sweets around the house. I've cut out sugar from my diet completely. And in that, I don't add sugar to anything in my cereals, in my coffees, nothing. Like I go out of my way, or I purposely leave sugar out of my diet. So
Yeah.
for me, it's been more those small changes, bro. It's been like changing the way I
Mm.
snack, cutting out sugar, like you say. Sometimes like where I would have used milk before, I'll use water. Small things like that. That's
Yes.
actually helped me quite a bit, bro. Um, but yeah,
Yo,
man.
that's
So
amazing.
have you had any experience in terms of using like protein powders and that kind of stuff? Has that played in your role?
Yeah, so I actually had like the USN mass gainer protein this year,
Nice,
but
man.
it didn't really make a difference for me. I
Is
looked
it?
bigger, but I stayed the same weight. So what I used before was L-glutamine, and that's like a lean muscle like protein that you use, and
Hmm,
that actually helped me bulk. Like it helped me gain a lot of weight back then. What I noticed is that for me, what might have been a large factor was that I was running a lot while I used the mass gainer. So to help me maintain like the certain weight, I didn't lose any muscle, but I didn't gain either.
hmm,
And then yeah, just getting back to the gaining weight point. I started gaining weight now recently because I'm not allowed to run because of my knee, and I still need to hear what the doctor has to say. So
sure.
I noticed then like I basically picked up a lot of weight. We was trying to pick up then, and I weigh around 78 kilograms now. So like I'm 2 kilograms off of my target weight that I wanted to
Wow, man.
reach. So yeah, with proteins, I think it depends on your body type and also the blood type.
Mm,
So you have to. I would recommend that you before you buy your protein, do a lot of research on what works for your like body type. Are you a person that when you eat you gain weight fast, or you don't gain weight because you have a fast metabolism? So yeah, really take those things into account before you just go into the shop and buy a protein because it says mass gainer. Because what works for me won't necessarily work for you, Michael. So that
yeah, that's
is
true.
something that you have to take into account. How has your experience been on that?
I think what's helped, I would say as well. So even throughout this whole period of bulking, I never actually took like a protein powder per se. So I often have these
Mm-hmm.
like shakes which use it's Future Life, which is so basically it's like a type of
Yes.
cereal, and I would use like oats as well. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'll get into it shortly. So yeah, for breakfast, oftentimes I have like muesli and that kind of stuff. So I have these like cereals that are high in protein, but I've never gone for the
Yeah.
like specific like USN protein powders or like mass gainers. I didn't actually
Yes.
have access to any of that throughout this time. But what I have been using in terms of a supplement is creatine. So
Yes.
I usually mix it into a drink, like either sometimes just iced tea, sometimes like a fruit juice that's around, or sometimes if I am
Yeah.
having like a protein shake, then I'll add a spoon of creatine in, and I do that. I
Creatine.
have that right before I do a workout, and I think
Mm.
it definitely has helped. I think I have noticed the difference. What creatine gives
Okay.
you is it actually gives you a boost in your strength while you're working out, so you're
Yes.
able to sort of like do more than you would usually, and
Okay.
it also just helps in terms of muscle building and growth. So I think creatine is also a good one. It's a like creatine and glutamine, like you say, they're both legal you know powders that you can add into your diet that are really going to like boost the muscle
Yeah.
growth. So I think you should like take advantage of those kind of things if you are starting to take the gym more seriously, if it's something you're doing on a regular
Mm.
basis. But yeah, like you say, that's more for when you're looking to like put on size and muscle. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to going into this cutting period now. I've never been in a space where I'm like super lean. Um,
Yeah.
so what I'm trying to get to is the point where there's like real definition on the muscles. I would estimate probably towards like below 15% body fat. That's sort of what I'm going to try to aim for over the next 6 months, is to keep as much muscle as I can, but just cut down on the fat. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm basically just going to be working out as I have been, but on a calorie deficit rather. So I'm eating less, maybe doing some more cardio. So yeah, that's sort of my plans moving forward, bro. But what does your next 6 months look like, or what are you planning to do moving forward in the gym? How are you looking to progress your journey?
Yeah. So I'm actually excited to see you cut, man, because I know like you've gained a lot of size, and just seeing you have that more lean look to it, it's gonna be amazing. So I'm excited for you, bro.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, what I plan to do is I have to first hear what the doctor says in terms of, do I need
Yeah,
rehab? Am I gonna need a surgery? Like, what's gonna happen?
for sure.
So I'll definitely still be bulking until that period is done. Whether I have to have 2 or 3 weeks off, after that I can start cutting, because I know I'll be getting into running again, or after the operation period, like the recovery that needs to be there. But definitely, what I want to focus on is strengthening my muscles, and yeah, like I said, gain that two extra like weight until 80, and then basically maintaining it while having just a lot like stronger muscles. That is something that I want to get into because of the athletics. You can't be too big, but I also want to have that lean look, and yeah, just I want to really have my abs pop out. So I'm gonna be doing a lot
Nice,
of
man.
abs exercises, and then cardio is definitely gonna be important because of like the pageant and being Mr.
Mm,
United, we are gonna take a lot more photo shoots, and
mm,
I just wanna be at my best.
that's
That
awesome to hear,
is, I
bro.
think that's my plans going forward, man.
Jeez, man. Yeah, excited, bro. I
Yeah,
think we've been doing this quite seriously for about a year now, but I think to build the kind of body that is really something to look at. I think it takes like almost 5 years, and it's what a lot of people say. So we
definitely.
we really only at the beginning of our journey, man. But we're young. We're
Mhm.
both 19 years old. So excited to
Yeah,
see where we will be in a few years, man. We got to keep putting in the work, and yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed listening to what me and Daniel had to say.
yeah. So thanks for joining in, and really, you guys can hit us up if you want to get
Yeah,
like a take of our knowledge, like
100%.
personal one-on-one. We're definitely open to that. And yeah, thanks for making it to the end. Definitely be sure to send this to a friend or a family member if you feel that this video is going to benefit it. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Yeah, leave a comment as well. We really appreciate those type of things. And yeah,
100%.
thanks for joining Michael and I in today's episode. Much love. BTY. Bye.